Hi folks, hope you are all doing great today. And on this video, we'll talk a little bit about how you can use Google pre-built machine learning models to decouple information from address which you can receive in a string, and then decouple the information in the street, number, postal code, something like that. Um, the idea here is that you have an application which will receive a information from an address, like some customer who bought something and input its address in the website, and you receive all in a string in text, and then you need to decouple it in some separate information like street, postal code, number, so you can deal with it in your application to make delivery or something else. And well, we'll see how Google has some pre-built machine learning models which you can just use in the format of an API to a pretty good machine learning models already trained, and you can use it in a very simple way, and maybe it can help you in your application. And you it's not full data engineering knowledge, it's something more for data science when you think about machine learning, but you see that it's it's something you can use in your codes, in your data pipelines. And since it's already trained and built for Google, it's something that can be deployed by the data engineer. Also, it's something that is being asked by Google on its data engineering exams and certification. So let's take a look at that. So if you come here to Google and look for Google Cloud Natural Language API, you see here that there's a page just for the natural language artificial intelligence. Let me change it for English because it's in Spanish. And well, here it explains that that's something you can use from an API, and that the models are already trained in Google database. And here is an example. You can input some text here, but let's use here the address for, I think it's address from Google, and make a test. Tasks if you are not a robot. And well, it in this case, it's analyzing the entities it meets in Google. It meets in the text, so it finds in the text. So for example, it finds an entity called Google. It classifies it as an organization. Mountain View, it's classified as a location, and so on. Here, it's something that we'll look further. This whole text, I believe it's 1630 Parkway, Mountain View, California, is classified as an address. Okay, and this is the entity classification model, and it also work with sentiment analysis. So it's not make much sense, but for example, if you change the text like this product is very good, you can see that the sentiment already analyzed it, that with a score of 0.8 from 0 to 1, that's a positive comment, but today we'll focus on these entities analyze, and here is how we're gonna do it, how we're gonna use it. So first of all, let me show you how you can use this API. I'll come here to my Google Cloud project, and let me just start a Cloud Shell here. It will take just some seconds, and then we will use we will use the command line to call this service and input an address and see which kind of response we'll have. So here the command is gcloud ml for machine learning analyze entities, and then we have the argument content, and then you can input our text. I just put my address here. Uh, Brooklyn, Brooklyn, it's the postal code, okay, and press enter. Okay, we have some error here. Oh yeah, I just missed some information here. It's the machine learning language. Okay, right. And here it returns some responses in the format of JSON. So here each element is an entity which it analyzed. Here there's a list called entities, and each element on this list is an entity which the model identified and analyzed. So here, for example, this content, Nova York 499, it's the type of location, and here it's its name. Other one, São Paulo, it's okay, it's a location, but it finds it as a person, say like Saint Paul. Okay, no problem. Brooklyn has a location as well, and here is the one which we are focusing on this demo. On this entity, it classified it as an address, so it's the whole text, and in its metadata, it already decoupled information from the address. So we already have the country is Brazil, and you can see that Brazil is not mentioned here anywhere. And then all the other elements are already decoupled in the street name, street number, the sublocality, which would be the neighborhood, is Brooklyn. Look that I wrote Brooklyn with Y, and it already changed it to I because it's the way it's written in Brazil. And the postal code, look, I wrote the postal code, everything together, and it already formatted it. So, and this is the information, the address classification which interests us, okay? So imagine you have an application in which people are inputting their address in some strange formats in the way they want to write it, and then you can use this machine learning API, which is ready from Google, and it already decouples the information in a very good way, which you can use to store in your database or do some other processing, right? And here, so we are just inputting it is a Google in the Cloud Shell, but we'll do some other demo here with some code. So imagine, if you can see here, yeah. Imagine you have a file with some addresses, and it can be a huge file. I just picked some here, but it's in the format of a CSV file, but it could be a database. It could also be in a text format or any other format, but here we are working with CSV, and we will automate this with a cloud function. So the idea here of the cloud function is that we will be using this API, the same API which we used here in the Cloud Shell with gcloud commands, but we'll be using the Python SDK. So we'll import this library, which is language v1, and then we will create a cloud function here, which has its name in check address. So you create a client for the language API with this command. We'll just define here with that the type of the type of the information we are informing is plain text. Okay, the language is Portuguese because I have some my address here are for Brazil and are in Portuguese. Okay, so I will read this file. Okay, which will be on the same folder from the Cloud Function, but you could read as well from Google Cloud Storage or from the buckets, something like that. And then we will start to iterate over the rows here, over each one of the address, okay? And well, we'll get each address and put in the variable text content, and then create a document with the content, the type, which is plain text, and the language, that's Portuguese. And we'll run our machine learning model. We'll call the API. So we use the client created here, use the command analyze entities, which is the same one we used here. And in the request, you just pass the document, okay? And then for each entity in the response, we'll check if the entity type, which we saw here, right? Here, type. If the entity type is address, then we'll add to our direction dictionary the information on each metadata item, right? Which is here. Okay, so when we finish to iterate in all these addresses, we'll see that we'll have a list here, which you created an empty list first, and this list will have the format of a list of dictionaries, which each dictionary will have the metadata information from the address. So for address one, it have the street name, street numbers, locality. For the second one, street name, street number, and maybe there will be some different metadata found for each of the address based on the text it received, but it will be no problem for us. Then we'll create a final data frame with this information here, with this list of dictionaries. Each dictionary will be a row in our data frame. And then we'll just add the original address as a column here, just so in the final in the end we can check how it works. And then we are just saving here in a temp folder in our Cloud Function environment, and then we will upload it to a Google Cloud Storage in this bucket here we created in our Google Cloud project. Now, let me just show you here. Create a bucket called address decoupling, and the final data frame will be deployed, will be saved here on this with this file name email directions.csv. Okay, so here we save it, and now we can add everything to a zip file so we can use it to deploy to our Cloud Function. Okay, so here we have on this folder the file main.py. Oh, so first we are importing the Google Cloud Language v1, Google Cloud Storage, and pandas. And on our requirements, it's everything we need to install in our Cloud Function. So we're installing pandas, Google Cloud Language, Google Cloud Storage, and FS spec and G Cloud file system, so that we can interact, the Cloud Function can interact with the Google Cloud Storage and save the final data frame. Okay, so here we'll go to our folder, and we will add all these files to a zip file, which will be AutoML function. Okay, so here it is. Let's head here to the same. You can put in any bucket, but let's head here to the same bucket. I'm coming here to engineer channel, AutoML function. Okay, here is my zip file, and then we can go to Cloud Functions to deploy it. Great. We will create a function here. Oh, I think it's a new test project, which which I never use the cloud function. So let me just enable the APIs. Take some time. Okay, so after the APIs are enabled, here we are. We'll give the function name. We'll give it decouple addresses ML, which will be a US Central 1. I will allow unauthenticated invocations, not require HTTPS. Save it, and just let me check my timeouts for 500 here, and it's okay. Believe that we are all set. Then what's next? Our function is in Python, so here Python 3.8, and my source code will be in a zip from cloud storage, which is the zip we just uploaded some seconds ago here, and we can find it in the location we uploaded. So it's in the bucket address decoupling, out function, select. And here the entry point will be the function we created here. So it's check address, great. And we can deploy. So after that, the cloud function starts here to deploy. It takes a minute or two to deploy, and then we can execute it and see which is the final data frame it will generate for us. Let's just wait, it's deployed. So here it is, our function is already deployed. We access it. First, we just need to give permission so that we can trigger it through our browser. So let me here add users, Docker, save, allow public access. Here it is, can trigger it. So here we can see the return our cloud function executed well, and then we can come here to our Google Cloud Storage, and here it is. Here's our CSV file. So let's see what it generated. Let's just download it and can open it. Okay, it's here. Right. So here is the address which we inputted, and you can see, for example, here on the last one, it worked well. It found the street name, the street number, the city, Porto Alegre, and the postal code. The other ones are well dealt with information from postal code, city, country, neighborhood, but it didn't found the street number and the street name. So it's one of the flaws with our with this machine learning pre-built API. But well, you can see you have the postal code where well built. So in your API, for example, in your application, you can find from another source the street name and street number with the postal code for the case which you the machine learning API didn't found alone. So didn't find alone. So yeah, here is how it works. It will have different outputs with from according the way the data is written, but it's a pre-built model. You don't have work with developing the machine learning model, and it can help you in a whole solution. It can be part of solution for a first decoupling of the information. So I hope it helped you. I hope it brings some ideas. If you like this video, please just like it and subscribe to my channel. And so I'm looking to bring more videos to you. Hope you stay safe for this day. Thank you very much, and bye.